Can we come closer? Actually, can we come closer since hapa tunaweza kusogea mbele ili tuweze kujaza sisi ili kwanza. Au tuliweka nyuma, good morning, everyone. Feeling good? We can do one exercise in the morning. This is what they are energized by. Another problem with theme of comprehensive. Geospatial technology for geospatial technology. I can't hear you. Geospatial technology for okay. Ikisema Tanzania kidijitali, sema inawezekana. Tanzania kidijitali, sasa tunaonyesha mkono. Tanzania kidijitali, Tanzania kidijitali, GIS kidijitali. Naitwa Kawamala Antidius Barasuka, ni mkurugenzi wa shirika la GIS. Awali ya yote kwa shukuru kwa kuja asubuhi ya leo na katika conference yetu kubwa kabisa ya mwaka. Watu wana Christmas, watu wana Eid, ila sisi tuna GIS Day. GIS Day 2024, a quick overview ya GIS Day mwaka huu. Tumeanza kwa mwaka jana, kwa mwaka huu hivi maleta pili. Kwa siku ya jana tumeanza kwa kuwa na workshop ya ecosystem ya Geospatial. One of the key takeaways tulipata jana ni kwamba we need a very strong business ecosystem Geospatial. Ili watu waliokuwa wanafanya chuo ama watu walio kwenye business ama kwenye industry waweza kufanya huduma za kuendelea. Na vile tuna hackathon kwa mara ya kwanza tumeweza kufanya translation ya GIS kutoka kwa Kiswahili na kuanzisha community yetu ya kwanza ya GIS kwenye Tanzania. Hizo ni vitu tunazungumzia baadaye. Yangu ni machache tu, natakiwa kuwakaribisheni kwenye conference yetu ya leo yenye theme ya Geospatial Digital Economy. Nataka turudie tena Geospatial Technology for Geospatial Technology for before we start, ile notion ya kwamba everything happens somewhere. Kila kitu kinatokea sehemu fulani. Basi na kwa maendeleo ya teknolojia sasa hivi, hiyo sikubali everything happens somewhere ilikuwa vivi kabisa kwa kutumia matumizi ya Geospatial. Na inaonyesha wazi kwamba almost 82% ya data, more than 82% of the data is partially related, which means we are the driving force of what is happening on the ground. Sasa we should ask ourselves, are you in the path or pembeni? In which path are you playing when you are 82%? The value of the people challenges. Okay. So, and the 30% of the people that use spatial data are not geospatial people. For instance, when you Uber, when you Bolt, Airbnb, you can mention them. All of those people are not geospatial people. And only 5% of the people in the geospatial sector are using geospatial data. So in this conference, we are going to be answering that question. Where do you play? Where are you? Na kwenye timu yetu ya digital economy, kuna mwanasayansi mmoja anaitwa Charles. Anasema most everything is free, lakini vijana hawana skills and the knowledge kwenye hii digital economy. Sasa hilo swali litaenda kujibiwa na kwenye presentation. what it takes for the youth, for the community to participate in the digital economy, as well as which role should we play, making sure that we are playing part and parcel in the geospatial economy. Without any further ado, I would like to give you a floor plan of where we are. We are at Harvard University. If you go outside the venue, on the left side, that's where the washrooms and changing rooms are located. Vilevile tutakuwa tuna exhibition booths hapo nje ambazo zinaonyesha innovations, technology ambazo zinachangia kwenye geospatial hasa kwenye digital economy. So feel free to network, mingle, exchange ideas. You don't know kesho utakuwa wapi ukiomba kazi, ama huwezi jua kesho utakuwa wapi ukipeleka. We have some amazing presentations today. To start with, we will have the presentations from the people who are doing some great work from the UN maps. And then we have some presentations from Tanzania institutes. And then we go down to have some spaces on the private change in environment from living professionals. We go down to having presentations from different sectors. This was supposed to be the opening introductions, but it is going far to the presentation. So I would like to step down on stage and invite the first moderator for the first presentation, Dr. Atu. Can we?
Hongereni kwa kutenga muda kwa ajili ya kushiriki katika siku ya sana. Yes. So bila kujisanza muda ninaenda briefly. My name is Antoine Moma. I am a lecturer here at Harvard University in the Department of Geospatial Science and Technology. I prefer calling myself a geospatial ecologist. I am a passion in GIS, application and management of natural resources throughout the working effects. Shortly, I just call myself a geospatial ecologist. The role that I've been given this morning is to moderate this first session, where I'm going to bring before you first presenter this morning, Mr. Michael Montani, who is from the UN Maps. Processing coordinator, who is the UN Maps processing coordinator at the United Nations Global Climate Center. So he's doing his presentation online. I hope. Welcome, Michael.
Welcome. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Michael, but I don't think, I'm not sure if you can be heard on the event.
Okay. Welcome. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
can hear you, Michael, but I don't think I'm not sure if you can be heard on the now.
Okay, it seems I have a bit of a lag, but I will start my presentation anyway. So I will share my screen. Can you, Gerald, confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we'll start with the presentation, and we have like some bit of lag with the conference in Tanzania, but it's a pleasure to meet you. I am Michael Montani, and I work as a crowdsourcing coordinator at the Solution and Support Unit of the United Nations Global Service Center. The UNGSC, we use the short form, is the logistic base of the United Nations. So what we do is to support peacekeeping and political missions in their endeavors in ensuring peace in endangered places. And today I'm going to tell you about UN Maps, which is a program that is developed by the logistic base. First of all, I will start with some words about the UNGSC. Um, so we do have two logistic bases, one in Brindisi and in southern Italy, and the other one in Valencia in Spain. So the one in Brindisi is more involved with activities related to logistics and supply. So it's the place where they are stored, for example, all the vehicles of the UN, as well as supplies, pharmaceuticals, food, and so on, that then gets distributed to the peacekeeping missions across the world. While in Valencia, the activities are focused more on the telecommunications side, so it's like not much geospatial, but more about the computer science and telecommunications. So we have three major services in UNGSC. As I told you, the supply chain, so all the logistical activities. Then we have the service for geospatial information and telecommunication technologies, that is where I work. And then we have also some facilities to host trainings with politicians, UN staff on the field, and so on. And you can see the clients of the base are basically all the peacekeeping missions and political missions. There are many in Africa, but there are also some in Asia, in Europe as well, and also in Southern America. So here there is a list of activities that the geospatial section at the logistic base is doing. So we do groundwater exploration, so all the activities related to the discovery of water for the UN, for establishing UN camps. But then we have also, for example, the development of software like GIS Cloud, solution support, geoanalytics, and geodata. And we have also, let's say, the collection of satellite imagery, the production of digital twins, so the representation of the geospatial data in 3 dimensions, and so on. So I will make a bit of background on the topographic maps production. So this is an activity that the UNGSC has been doing since the very beginning of its creation 30 years ago. That is the production of topographic maps for the peacekeeping missions. So those topographic maps have all the natural and physical features. So you can see land cover, highways, waterways, residential areas, and so on. Basically all produced on a paper map. This is important because in many places in the world, especially in the field, there is no internet connection, and militaries are used to trace tactical operations on those maps. So We had a problem with the traditional way of producing those maps because um, we noticed that the data was getting old. When we were editing maps, they weren't updated. So many of those maps were used only once and then they were not used anymore. So we need to find a solution to use open data and in particular OpenStreetMap in order to make those maps always alive, let's say, and never changing. So the challenge of for us to adopt proprietary solutions is that basically sometimes on proprietary producers there is lack of base and topographic data. So for example, we can see here actually a village in Somalia, the Wanlaweyn village on Google Maps and we cannot see anything. So this village is not present on Google Maps, but because probably I mean the area is not economically relevant for the proprietary producers, so there is no data here. So we need data in especially in field operations. Then there is a lack of operational data. So if we use, in this case, OpenStreetMap, we cannot visualize information that shall not be made public. So in this case, we see a base in MINUSCA in Central African Republic. That is MINUSCA is the peacekeeping missions operating there. And we cannot see, for example, the location of important buildings, location of troops, and so on and so forth. Another challenge with open data is the usage of authoritative boundaries. So whatever we can get from OpenStreetMap, we cannot say is an authoritative boundary because they can be changed by anybody. So we need to mix kind of the open data with the proprietary data. So in this case, we must use the authoritative boundaries coming from the UN Secretariat in order to be, let's say, to ensure the political representation of the boundaries and also to make I mean, to kind of give the stamp of the United Nations on these boundaries. So this is very important because any map produced by the United Nations has to be compliant with the international law. And as you can imagine, we cannot use data that can be changed by anybody. Another thing is the usage of authoritative geographical names. So, for example, we see here names in Kosovo that are used. Let's say, I mean, proprietary providers can try to use. I mean, they are using the names according to the political views of the countries in which they are hosted while you can see, for example, the spelling of Pristina can be both Pristina or also the Russian version. So this is important to 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 take into account. I mean, we cannot use. We have to ensure that the international name is the one compliant with the UN. So we had to come up with a solution that is UN Maps. That is an innovative solution to mix open data and proprietary data, especially in this context of supporting peace and serving humanity. I will go through the different features very briefly. So I start with the street map. The street map is exactly as you could imagine in Google Maps. This is a basically a navigation application, both desktop and mobile, and you can you can visualize the data, query the data, and we also do have plans to make it public in the future, but currently is usable only by UN personnel for security reasons. So the possibly a public version will, let's say, hide the security information from the general user. We do have also the image map. The image map is the collection of satellite imagery and drone imagery as well collected in the field. We are also having commercial providers giving us images whenever we make a request. And also we have this, let's say, global topographic map, let's say, imagery from the Esri to cover the base information. Um, Together with the navigation and the image, we have the terrain map that is showing the global topographic information, so the heights of the different hills and mountains. And then we are also developing, we are using vector tiles in order to visualize 3D data. So this is the globe solution of UN Maps, and you can see here a view on Tripoli in Libya. So here we are visualizing the buildings on OpenStreetMap and also the point of interest in a 3D way. So visualizing three-dimensional the solution. Then we have the operational map. This is probably one of the most important. It is also fueling, let's say, many other applications within the UN. Here we are visualizing the operational data. So this data is private, as you can imagine. So this is like the location and the, let's say, and the time of the flights between the different camps in the field, as well as the position of troops in the different cities. And these are visualized in the UN Maps application. And so in the operational map, we have also the search, so the geocoding. We can see and query different operational information together with open data at the same time. And the direction. So directional features are specifically designed for the work of the peacekeepers on the ground. So the idea is that a military for a blue helmet wherever in a war area has to come back to some patrolled secure road. So we know that some roads are, let's say, more secure than others. So the idea is to use open data to reach those secure roads as soon as possible, and then use the secure roads to reach, let's say, the safest place as soon as possible. So most often is not the shortest distance to be the most important, but is also like the most secure. So we need to develop a routing solution ad hoc. Okay, these were the features. I will go through some apps that are using UN Maps. The first one that I want to share with you is the Maps on Demand. So this is a web application that the peacekeepers are accessing to. So the blue helmets, they are military, they don't have geospatial competencies. So what they do is to access these Maps on Demand. It's a simple web application. They can select the type of map they want to print. And then they select also the area of interest that we previously mapped. And the software is automatically producing a PDF of the map that was chosen. So we have several products like the topographic map, the urban map with details of the cities, site map for the very detailed maps of the UN camps, and then the road book that is showing information from one point to another point. So showing the routing as a sort of paper maps book. And these maps that I showed you are also printable by the people on the field. So they download the PDF and they can print it for usage on the field. Then we have the UN Maps Mobile. This is something that we are currently working on. So this is supposed to be a offline navigation app that we can use because open data can be used also offline. So we that is pretty comfortable for the peacekeepers to use, even though they are not used to use let's say smartphone and tablets over the missions. They are typically using paper maps anyway. This is one of the most interesting, I would say, activities, the digital twin. So the digital twin is basically a replica of 3D replica of cities, the main ones. Here we have Tripoli, as I told you. We used to model the buildings Carta view. This was activities done by the community of OpenStreetMap Libya, for which they took, as you see down below, photos, pictures of the city. So we can use these pictures to develop the procedural modeling to design the 3D version of the buildings, while the data is coming from OpenStreetMap. So we are using the footprints coming from OpenStreetMap, and we are procedural modeling all of those with the help of 3D graphic designers. And we also hosted mapathons to produce the data. To map the building footprints that were not available in Libya previously. So where is UN Maps used? As I told you, in patrolling. So the blue helmets are using UN Maps to navigate and to ensure that the local populations are safe. In planning, so the militaries and also civilians are planning operations on those maps. Security, humanitarian affairs, groundwater exploration, reporting. So those maps are used also in the headquarters to report. And then in logistics, so in these typical control rooms that are monitoring real-time data. So there are four pillars for UN Maps. One is the in-house capacity, so the UN staff across the world, especially the geospatial professionals that are helping us in decision making and providing operational data. Then we have the crowdsourcing. So you may have heard of the UN Maps, UN Mappers community. This is a community that I coordinate, and it's basically a crowdsourcing project in order to let civilians, volunteers, or local communities, academia, whoever would like to make an impact, they can access the UN Mappers projects in order to produce topographic data that will be embedded directly in our maps. So if anybody wants to collaborate, UN Mappers offers projects in which you can contribute to. And then we have the data part, so the UN data and the open data, as I told you, and the technologies. So we use both proprietary technology and open source technology in a hybrid version, let's say. So the hybrid solution of mixing proprietary and open data, open source, sorry, is the usually the best solution because you can get the best of both worlds. So this is, yeah, basically replicating what I told you. We have UN people, volunteers that are contributing UN data for the UN and for OSM. And then those data are going into databases, get processed and validated by professional mappers. And then this data is shared through the UN geoportal and fueling, let's say, different features and applications within the UN system. So this is the community of UN Mappers. We do many different activities like trainings, mapathons. We do have internships within the Global Service Center as well. We release certificates after trainings. We do have some social media presence. And also we host UN Mappers activations from time to time whenever there is a crisis or we need a rapid production of data in some place. And then We have also validation of and feedback to volunteers. So whenever they produce data, we on OpenStreetMap, we also have after trainings also validation sessions that we can evaluate the quality of the data. And then we also host the Mapper of the Month. So every month we award one mapper with certificates. Then we also have a learning platform that is called the UN Maps Learning Hub. So this you can access it to mappers.un.org/learning, and is containing a lot of different training material for OSM editing. So I invite you to see this application when you have time. So just to conclude quickly, I show here our contributions. So this is the satellite imagery of Kidal in Mali, while here we have Google Maps, and here we have UN Maps. So you can see a lot of more details that are taken from OpenStreetMap as well. And we are adding to it also the POI information coming from the UN operational information. The same in Central African Republic, in Grimari. So this is the satellite imagery. This one is OpenStreetMap. And then we can see UN maps with all the data that we edited, and also the operational information and the battalion boundary in this case. So our contribution in the end is data for development and regional urban planning. So this open data can be used by anybody for their own applications, community empowerment. We build open data capacities of UN partners, but also national cartographic agencies. So in this case, we can see a training that we did in Mali, in Bamako. So just to conclude the statistics, we have these founding missions, and we delivered over 600 map sheets that are 50K scale topographic maps in all these countries. So in Mali, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of the Congo, the border between Sudan and South Sudan, and Somalia. And we have also some statistics that I will just show here quickly. And in the end, UN Maps allows us to map the world, supporting peace and serving humanity by providing a positive impact for peace in different contexts and, and also different countries. Thank you. I finished. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I'm free for any question after the presentation. Thank you.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay, so I was saying that we will have. Welcome. Yeah, so we have then of questions afterwards. Is that okay with you?
So yes, I'm available for the questions. I cannot hear you very well, so if you can type the questions, will be good as well.
Okay, so thank you very much for a very nice presentation. It was such a fun presentation. Yes, all of this that you may have some geospatial technology is to where the contribution is around the globe. So we now move to the second center. I would like to welcome my brother. Welcome. So, secondly, you want to say management expert, engineering consultant with more than 10 years of experience. He's currently working with a partnership as a consultant and totally benefits in that. I know that this work. I'm happy that we have having a platform today to share with the rest of us what we get. Thank you.
Hello, asante sana. Yes, pia kuona viunga vya sasa. Actually, kwa hiyo niko nyumbani, nimefurahi sana. Kumbuka kwamba nilianza kufanya kazi na taasisi fulani kubwa, tuweza kuitaja ila kufuatilia unajua, na kwa taasisi ya Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. Hello, na sasa hivi niko na taasisi ya Global Change ambayo tunaendeleza jitihada za kujenga taifa letu. Kwa hiyo nafurahi sana kuwaona na tuendelee vizuri kwa pamoja. Amini kuna vizuri. Sasa nitachanganya lakini tutajitahidi. Sawa. Kwa hiyo hili kuwa ile sawa. Ya tuko pamoja. Sasa hivi salamu ya JSA ikoje? Salamu.
Yes, technology.
Okay, mimi nasema sawa. Nikisema JSA nasema
Faster technology.
Geospatial technology or
Digital economy.
for digital economy. Sawa. JSA changamka bwana. JSA Ekuwa mchangamke maana uko kwenye soko la ajira nahitaji wale wa ya. Sasa nitaanza kwa kupresent project yetu ambayo tunafanya hapa and actually sasa nitapresent project yetu ambayo tunafanya hapa. Project is called project. We work with the national government of Zanzibar for almost the project is for 1 year, but we've been working for almost 8 months now. But based on the timeline, how we started in 2023, May, when initial contact with the Zanzibar ambapo na communication zilifanyika pale, alafu baada ya pale kwa Zanzibar Planning Commission where the champion for hiyo project, and then from there tukaendelea na ratiba zingine ambazo zilikuwa zinahusisha masuala ya elimu na vitu mbalimbali. Sasa the key points ambazo nitaongelea about the TBA partnership with the planet. Actually, we have one of my colleagues, anafanya kazi kwa planet, the consultant us, where he represents the tutakuwa na emission trials ambazo engagement na planet tunaelezea kidogo pale, alafu government commitment, government of Tanzania, alafu tena kuna masuala ya capacity building and awareness, kufanya masuala ya youth protection, lakini pia kuna namna ambayo tunafanya selection of youth ambazo zilikuwa expected baada ya kuwa tunafanya zile investment, and then from there the expected project impact by March 5. From there, presentation on a technical presentation that so about the qualification for global change, knowledge tools to find how people lives, model belong to countries, companies work together, and this is powerful. Kwa hiyo kwa kifupi teknolojia inakuhusu watu wote, kwa nyumbani, kwa sehemu yoyote inakuhusu. Kwa hiyo kwa namna moja ama nyingine inatakiwa yaani mtu uweze kuikataa teknolojia. Kama utakataa kutumia basi utafanya. Sasa our approach as Tony Blair, the way we work na issue ya strategy pale ya policy pale ya delivery ambapo kwenye strategy we help the work with the political leaders to identify challenges and opportunities ambazo wanazipitia wao. Yes, we have the leaders, lakini naamini baadhi yao wanakuja ndio, lakini sasa kwa sisi kama tume na kitu kwamba nafanya ile awareness, nafanya mambo ambayo lakini wakati huo tunafanya identification the challenges kwa pamoja. Baada ya kusaidia kwa jamii. Kutoka hapo unafanya masuala ya policy together with the right for solution to the challenges and manage those activities. Sababu kwa siku hivi vitu ambavyo tunafanya mfano kuna kutiko kwa labda siasa kama kuna serikali wao alivyobasi okay. Ili uweze kutekeleza jambo ilikuwa kuhakikisha kwamba lina align na policy ya taasisi fulani. Ndio. Naamini kwamba katika electronic for global change they have their own policy. How do you work together with the government? Kwa hiyo ili uweze kuhakikisha unatekeleza jambo lako ilikuwa kuhakikisha kwamba lina align na nini? Kwa hiyo hapo ndipo tunakuja na serikali kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunafanya kazi vizuri kwenye masuala ya delivery tunaenda kuhakikisha kwamba bring the partners get things done, work side by side the government and leaders and their political visions, kwa sababu unakuta wanakuwa na matamanio kwamba okay, kwa mfano nataka kutoa huduma fulani somewhere na kwa haraka kutumia hiyo siasa kawaida watu wangapi au sehemu fulani au kwa huduma ya shule, si ndio? Lakini unapotumia technology kwa mfano kama ni satellite image unaona labda kufanya this intervention jinsi gani ambapo maendeleo yalikuwa kwa kasi katika ile sehemu na sehemu gani za kuketi na kupata maji ya kusaidia jamii. Ndio. So kufanya hivyo naweza kuona jinsi gani ambapo naweza kuhudumia. Sasa kiongozi anaweza kutumia njia ambayo siweza kutoka pale, lakini teknolojia inaweza kusaidia. Kwa hiyo ili na mwisho tulikuwa na kwa technology for the government today is a technology which is possible one. So we have leaders along the power of technology to bring real change for their people. Najua wewe kwa mfano katika communication ambayo ilikuwa inafanyika labda message WhatsApp communication ndio. Sasa nilianza kwenye partnership kwamba na consultant ambaye ni Planet ambaye jana partnership kwa ajili ya kusaidia technical kuweza kufanya fast building na awareness for solution government of Tanzania. Lakini hapa kuna champion ambaye ni Zanzibar Planning Vision ambao yeye kwa ajili ya kuongoza kupitia mtindo communication information na pia kuna stakeholder ambao ni ministerial departments and agencies ambao zinahusisha sekta mbalimbali ministries na nini pale. Kwa hiyo pamoja tukaja kwa ajili ya kutekeleza hii project. Sasa katika context ya hii project ilianza ambapo kuna communication na Zanzibar mission plans, and then from there we had the communication with Zanzibar planning mission in July. From there ikawa imeombwa taasisi yetu kwa ajili ya kusaidia kuweza kusaidia kutekeleza hii project. Kwa hiyo katika collaboration hiyo tunafanya kazi kwa pamoja vizuri na serikali ilikuwa na commitment nzuri kwa sababu wakati sana ni chief of agreement by one of the budget of people the project. From that then we had this capacity building and the awareness, and we also use the correction. Use the correction is depending on how the MDAs were the usage of the planet platform and tools. And then kama jinsi tunavyoona hii mfano user case ambazo zilikuwa selected na share agency system ambazo hizi ni kuna project ambayo wanafanya Zanzibar Planning Commission pamoja na Kola kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba wanahakikisha kwamba hizi sheria ni kama wadi ya zikata zinafaa zikata wanahakikisha kwamba kuna taarifa za kuhakikisha kwa kila kaya ambazo hizo taarifa zinasaidia kwa ajili ya decision making. Kulikuwa na hizi emergency response and delivery boost the preparedness of cover. This is there's a project called the BZ and also our Zanzibar Planning Commission, Zanzibar Disaster Management Funds kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunatekeleza hii ya swala ya response. Kuna hii coastal region monitoring ambayo kuna taasisi inaitwa Zafiri kwa wenyewe wanahakikisha kwamba katika hizi data ambazo service na planning ndio kuna presentation yake kunakuwa na wanafanya monitoring masuala ya region sababu kile ni kisiwa kwa kutakuwa na mabadiliko ya climate change. Kwa hiyo mabadiliko na tunajaribu kumonitor kuangalia kwamba kama kuna maafa ambayo yanaweza kutokea kwa sekta hii, lakini kuna monitoring forest areas kwa hii forest ni agriculture news for agriculture ambapo kunakuwa na masuala ya kufanya mapping expected project impact very much na kutegemea kwamba kuna improve data for urban planning, resource allocation, disaster response. Lakini pia kuna masuala ya key advancements technical forest areas. Lakini kuna masuala mengi ya investigation kutoka kama hizo companies. Servant is supposed to develop the self-expression image process against government plan. Sasa hapa nimetengeneza just a big picture kwa ajili ya kuona ambapo wenzangu wataenda sasa kwenye planet ni logo hapo ni blend. Kwa hivyo wenzangu wataenda kuelezea technical kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunataka kitu cha hapo what is doing this project using the earth observation. Hii ni mfano ya kwa kinafanyika kule Zanzibar chache na then baada ya kuwa amepresent tutakuwa na maswali, lakini pia next steps tunategemea kwamba by March 2025 tutafanya handover then na kuangalia kwamba namna gani ambavyo ile knowledge transfer tuliyofanya na zile taarifa serikali imetumia kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha kwamba project inaweza kuendelea. Sababu mwisho wa siku kuhakikisha kwamba wao kama client wamefika na taarifa na tools wanazotumia zinawafaa. So I would like to handle it over to you that can proceed. I hope you are following up the presentation.
Yes, I am, and I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. That's complete.
Excellent, thank you. So I'm just going to continue, and perhaps I'll first start by thanking the team at TBI and of course the government for the great work they've done. You know, this is not just a project that we can say started at the beginning of this year. This project is a culmination of a lot of engagements with the government and with NGOs, with you know, people from the academia and the private sector as well, to just see what is possible with data. And in as much as we'll be talking about what is possible and what we've done, I believe the greater challenge and the rallying call will be to the whole team that is in this room today, all the experts that are participating in this GIS Day. We have to ask ourselves, how can we tap into this noble idea? How can we tap into this great project? So kwa majina, mimi ni Gerald Yegon, niko Nairobi na nilikuwa nimepanga kuja in person, lakini changamoto imenizuia, na kwa hiyo na apologize, lakini nashukuru sana kwa kuweza kutualika na kuweza you know, kuweza kutualika ili tushirikie nanyi siku hii ya maana, kwa sababu ni siku ya you know, kushukuru na kutambua umuhimu wa mfumo wa you know, teknolojia wa GIS kwenye dunia na jinsi ambavyo imeweza kutusaidia na kubadilisha maisha yetu. Nadhani kila mtu hapa hivi anatumia ramani kwa njia moja au nyingine na mambo ya location. So zile vitu ambazo zimesemwa singependa kuzirudia. Ningependa tu kwanza kufanya introduction kidogo kwa planet, alafu niweze kuangalia ile kazi ambayo inaendelea pale, ndivyo tuweze kuendelea kutoka hapo, kwa sababu najua si kila mtu anafahamu ni nini kile tunafanya na vile ambavyo maybe inaweza kuwasaidia kwa ile kazi yote ile ambayo mko nayo. So Planet is it's an American company headquartered in California, and we are a leading producer and manufacturer of other observation satellites. We have our own satellite constellations. We have just about 200 satellites currently in space. So we are the largest satellite company in terms of other observation satellites. We have the highest number of other observation satellites in space as we speak. And our mission is to image the whole world every single day and make that change visible, accessible, and actionable. And we do this through our main satellite constellations. We have two of them. We have PlanetScope, which is our 3-meter satellite. It is always on, always scans anywhere all over the world. We scan on a daily basis, and it's 8 bands, so it's really, really good for advanced analysis for experts who really understand this. And of course, we also have SkySats, which are our zooming in high resolution satellites at 50 centimeters. And other than these two, which we have currently operational, we also have a hyperspectral satellite, which is really impressive because it has up to 400 bands and can help us monitor things like methane emissions. We just launched it recently, and it's really, really going to change how we monitor our world, how we monitor the environment. But my focus today will be, of course, the kind of work that we've been doing at Zanzibar, and how this has been able to provide at least results over the last few months, and where we see this project heading, of course, in partnership with and under the guidance and leadership of TBI, working closely with the government. And for us, it's not just about imaging the world. It's not just about images. We also strive to develop planetary variables. These are insights that can help you know more about your environment and how changing it is, and what are these things and how are they affecting your work. For example, measuring the water content of soil, measuring land surface temperature, monitoring things like crop biomass, roads and buildings, change detection. I'll be talking about this in detail. And these are just to mention a few, some of the things that we have off the shelf, and we use artificial intelligence to help you realize the value of geospatial data, almost immediately. So we are talking about analysis-ready data derived from virtual constellation of planet satellites and public missions. And what is important is their scientifically validated time series data, rasters and vectors. And of course, what I can say in a nutshell is, in terms of how we help our clients and partners, is to help them see detailed changes over broad areas in near real time, and to accelerate decisions, from mission discovery to resolution, and of course, improve cost effectiveness. And this is some of the things that I'll be highlighting that we've been doing with the government. And just to mention a few kind of use cases, to kind of expand also on what Daud has mentioned, things like wildfire monitoring, tax assessments, water quality, pest and diseases, road detection. These are some of the things that we do all over the world, and this is some of the things that we believe will be able to achieve, of course, to support the government's objective. And in summary, just to kind of put together a highlight of what the project entails, it's to supply courtesy of TBI, daily data sets for the government. That means all ministries, all departments and government agencies, service providers who are doing government contracts, so for the benefit of the government, and also public universities for research development purposes. So these are the people who have access to this data. And of course, the idea is to give them data, to access data all over, Zanzibar, that is Unguja, Pemba Island, and also the waters for things like marine protected area management and the exclusive economic zones monitoring. And of course, there are also capabilities to develop this data. And this also includes an archive. We have a rich archive going back to 2009. Tumekuwa tukikusanya na kuwekeza hii data kutoka kwa miaka zaidi ya 10 sasa. Na serikali iko na access to hii data na itaweza kutumia kufanya mambo mengi. Now, of course, pia on top of it, tuko na high resolution imagery ambayo ni ya 50 centimeters, ambayo wataweza kuwa wanatumia kama tip and cue. Ukiona kitu ambayo ungependa kuzoom in zaidi kuangalia, maybe tumedetect change fulani, unaweza tumia 50 centimeter satellite kuzoom in. Kwa hivyo sio lazima uende kwa field, ukisha maybe angalia kitu ambayo unataka kuangalia zaidi. Na kando na hii pia tuko na tunaendelea pia kufanya mambo ya discovery sessions, user support and trainings, ili kuweza pia kusaidia serikali kuweza kutumia hii data more effectively. So hii ni kazi nzuri sana, and tunashukuru TBI kwa sababu ndio kwa ground ndio wanafanya like the bulk of this heavy lifting, na ndio hata wamechangia success ya hii project. In the interest of time, ningependa kuonyesha tu mfano moja wa vile unaweza kutumia imagery, sana daily imagery, kumonitor vitu kama government projects. These are things that now the government does not have to go to the field each and every single day to monitor the changes. So if you're looking at, for example, the screen and that image there, this of course is Mangapwani Port, and we've collected random images from 2020 up to 2023 just to showcase the changes. So if you're a project manager, or if you are even a donor maybe, and you are sitting somewhere in Europe or in the US and you'd like to see how the project has been developing and progressing, we're able to at least see this on a very frequent basis, and at least you are seeing the changes as they happen and when they happen. So it's not really surprising. And this is our 3-meter data. So we do daily monitoring of the whole world, and this is what we're able to work with TBI to provide now the government. And to also show you basically how we detect changes. So you can see we use artificial intelligence. When there's a new road that comes up, we pick it up immediately, and the government has access to this data, and they'll be able to know, is this a road that they're constructing, or is it a road that is coming up as a result of maybe legal activity and those kinds of things. So when the government has access to broad area management kind of data sets, it transforms how government think and how government operate. And one beautiful thing about this data is you don't need to access it through like a Planet platform or something like that. You can access it through any common platforms, be it S3, you can access it there. If you have any other software that is compliant with what we call the Open Geospatial Consortia, OGC, we are able to provide these data sets through APIs to those platforms. So it's very agile, it is very adaptive, and we can work within your environment of choice to provide these daily data feeds into your ecosystem, into your geospatial ecosystem. So this is extremely important. And you can see on your left of the screen where the changes we pick up on a weekly basis. So you can see, for example, in the week of 10th April last year, we picked up like 3 road changes. The week before 5, the other week before 7. So you can see on a weekly basis, we pick up like new roads that are coming up, or new roads that are being expanded or constructed. So this is extremely important for the government to have a grasp of what is happening in the entirety of their territory. And just to also zoom in and show you an example of what looks like, when you kind of now get the higher resolution image. This is a SkySat at 50 centimeter resolution. And when you zoom in much further, you're now able to see at least the projects. You can see the number of buildings that are coming up. You can see the number of cars that are in the site. And this helps you appreciate the operations on ground. So the hope is we use the remaining minutes that we have for a more interactive session. If you have any questions, for example, I'm more than happy to answer. That's why I was trying to just do a quick summary, and then, of course, not also bore you with too many technical details, because I know everybody in the room is a geospatial enthusiast. So at least all of us know something about geospatial technology, so we can, of course, have a more engaging session. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may be having. Thank you, and thank you again. Asante sana. Yes.
Nafikiri kama kuendelea discussion kama swali kwa ajili ya kuendesha mapenzi mengine. Thank you so much.
Conceptual presentation. We saw the real maps how regulating the change locally, and now we move the references a lot of seeing how geospatial technologies are also imposing various reforms in our country. So now we move to the practical sector. For this she is in the Africa. She is an economic she's trying to develop our plans through social enterprise for the innovation. This is Thank you. I want to sit. Sorry, I don't have any presentation regarding the presenters. They are debating about a lot of technology issues, but we are the users. We are not the developers. But but we are the users. So all our CV, let me say, it's say good morning. Yes, good morning everyone. So my name is Rebecca Kamala. I think this is my brother to me. For those of us so today is actually the day the fantastic for the changes. And the founder of the University, for those of us who know for the University, you can follow us in the end of the social medias. We are there with the name of Innovation. So we have the area, we are one of the partners of GIS. So I talk a bit about how we use GIS in our company. The University is a social enterprise that is registered legally in Tanzania, so collects in Tanzania and also in Tanzania. So currently we are focusing on domestic collection and segregation using recycling. So we are focusing on the segregating only plastics. Should I integrate Swahili? Sorry. Yeah, so tunachokifanya sisi kusanya taka ambayo tumekuwa katika chupa ya plastiki ambayo tunashirikiana na viwanda mbalimbali kutoka nchi mbalimbali, tunazichakata quality recycling and then we export outside the country. So we have partners. We are working with one of our great partners in mapping in the GIS, but also we have another partner who is here, particular class. Yeah. So the particular class is the non-government organization. So regarding our strategy, we are working with so coming to the topic of GIS, so how are we using GIS in our daily operations? First of all, we are working on waste collection and segregation. That means we are working with around 2,000 people. And these people who are these people, they are waste pickers. So those are our clients. Value them a lot. So what we do, we have the programs that we engage in on how they can collect waste and then they can sell it to us. So we came up with a program that's amazing for improving cycling. We did this survey in 2022 with a partner of GIS in the University of Sheffield in the UK. So this partnership were to understand what kind of materials that these waste pickers are picking, where are they selling, what's their agendas. So regarding the biography and the demography and everything that they do in the country to ensure that they keep our environment clean, as legal innovation, we did the mapping about stage 3 in Dar es Salaam, specifically in Ilala Municipal, because it was just it was a pilot project to see on how we would improve our daily operations. So Kilitokifanya was to map the collection centers and the waste pickers. So we mapped about the 200 waste pickers, women and men. And tukaona walio ambao wanahusika sana kwenye chakataji au upotaji wa taka Mongo speakers who are most involved in this sector are more men than women. Lakini pia tukaona kwamba kwa nini wanawake wengi hawashiriki hata hizo. So that's them, tukaona kwamba wengi wanafanya kwa the reason of chakula, si ndio? They want to eat. But wanawake kulingana na maumbile yetu kubeba mizigo kwa it's a big load, so it becomes another challenge. The woman to open distance. So unajua kuna we met one who was speakers in Mbezi tukamkuta then Segerea. So like how come? So they know their ways ambapo wanapita, so they didn't use the dada. And then the fun thing is, there are normal people like us. They are not just those we call them the people who are called their own minds. So these people, we saw like they change their clothes wanabadilisha nguo, like we are here and after we are kulingana until you see here awareness now. Lakini akiwa kazini is our speaker. So ukimkuta Serena Hotel is not a more speaker, is Antides, right? So same applies to me. Ukimkuta kazini anakuta ukimkuta kazini anakuwa speaker. So kulingana na nature ya kazi inatufanya tuonekana we are more of useless people, right? Kwa sababu even if you're not more valued, so hata akitaka kuingia hapa university wanaenda wanasema ndio, lakini akija amevaa vizuri that's anaheshimika, right? Lakini kutokana na kazi yake anadhani more pesa kuliko kitu kingine chochote. That's why you see them on the streets. Lakini kutokana na wengi ambao wanafanya kazi, they are very abuse, drug abusers, kama ile hata wale wachache ambao wanafanya vizuri, they tend to be wote tunachukulia pamoja, kusema wote mmeuza samaki wote wanasema. Kwa hiyo this is how we use GIS in our daily operation. So we use waste to map the collection, waste collection sites and the facilities where we collect our materials. So this is how we do the analysis. So the GIS is helping us to do the analysis on how much and monitoring, like monitoring and evaluation of analytics, like how many waste speakers do we have? How many sites do we have? How many facilities do we have? How many people do we have? Are they active? Are they not active? And also, we are using price. So everything is a value chain. And that we collect. So this is an opportunity here for us to want to say, yeah, now we are more tracks. We are idle. Kwa unakuta kwamba tukienda kuchukua kama kule mfumijana. Sio. Yule mtu anataka kuchukulia sisi same. Lakini before sisi kuchukulia simu, we really know by using the part of compensation people, we need to go for the material. So we are cutting out most of the communication, we are cutting out costs. So geospatial, like the GIS is helping us in waste management and circular economy issues. Lakini pia inatusaidia kwa identify waste generation costs. For example, kwa wale tunashirikiana na serikali kuandaa beach cleaners. How will we know that a certain beach, maybe in Mbezi, maybe somewhere, is more polluted than any other beach? How to kufanya community cleanup? How are we going to know Ilala is more polluted than Kinondoni? Maybe Kinondoni is more polluted than maybe let's say Temeke. How are we going to do that? We are doing this by using GIS. So if I can identify the hotspots, like the species is more polluted. So we organize the cleanup. We do the engagement of the public awareness and we are talking about the public awareness. So the awareness is done by everyone. So you cannot do anything by not engaging the political, the government, because the local governments whom you need to engage and make sure that they understand your goal or why are you doing that. It's because they need to be more, let's say, but more visual, like you are more. Yes, you have to be more formalized to do in order to do that. You cannot do anything without being formalized. Otherwise, you'll be taken otherwise. So kitu kingine ambacho integration of JS in your way as the legal renovation inatusaidia pia in circular economy business. So sisi tunafanya biashara, we are also doing community contract. We are also doing the business. So with this, it helps us identify what kind of modality are we going to do this our company. Are we going to make more money through JS? So JS is helping us identify what kind of business model that we are going to incorporate into our operations. Like I said, we are using for the collection of, we are using to map the waste collection centers, facilities, and some sites, but people to identify the people, how many people we have. So this is like, when the biashara tunasema this is like the unique selling point for us. For an investor, I'm going to tell you how to get the technology I'm using. Because I'm not in a tech business, I'm in another tech business. So obviously, I'm going to pitch to my investor that I'm using technology as JS to map the papers, and this is how we do it. So your business model should align with your technology. How I use technology to solve the challenges. Because currently we are solving the social and economic challenges. Lakini pia tunasaidia kutoa ajira kwa vijana. We are currently going to open our new sites. We need more of waste paper. I mean, we use this to be again. Lakini pia we need more of people to map these sites, new sites, for a new model for the new site, right? So these things let's say we are more creating also more green jobs for youth, lakini pia tunaengage more organizations in the community as well as tunalinda mazingira, lakini pia we are making sure that we are more involved, who are involved in this sector, more of youth, not only men, but we are trying to mobilize more women more to engage in this sector. For those women who are here, for you to join in the environmental sector. So this is how the innovation is working with the GIS. So I'm happy to be here and to be elected by So that was very good to hear the universe of geospatial technologies. So now the floor is very open to all of us to ask questions or to give comments and just to discuss the issues that are being So if you have any questions or anything to discuss regarding the presentations that have been made in this first session, please feel free to ask. I would like to know if microphones online. Oh, okay. So we have we can accept questions from the second presentation and presentation. But if you have any questions regarding the first presentation, maybe you can just leave them and we can mail them to the presenter. Yeah. Everybody. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Work with reforms and duty. So my question goes to Planet. I know you guys you say you're the leading conservation and in here we have a group of stakeholders. So my question is what programs or services do you recommend for students in case they need either option for their research or any other program that would be best for students? Yeah. For that, this project, kama nilivyoelezea planet, ndani ya planet kuna planet university, ambapo hiyo planet university ukasoma namna ambavyo sensi zao, lakini pia tools ambazo zinapatikana kule ndani, lakini pia aina ya tuseme taarifa au jinsi gani ambavyo tunaweza kuintegrate na program nyingine. Mfano planet, kwa wale ambao wanatumia content.js au ArcMap au kwenye content.js kuna plugin planet kama una lakini sasa kilichopo ni kwamba you need to have access or plan access, ambapo that is a kind of plan ambayo inahusisha serikali na planet au any other so kama kuna chochote kile ambacho wanafunzi watakao kwamba they have to go through the government, then unakuwa na request kwa planet or country for global change, and then from there it can for sababu you need to follow the it's not like an open tool, kwa sababu katika kazi ambazo tunafanyika kuna serikali kama vile mfumo wa so kila mtu anatumia kwa sababu kunakuwa na confidential information ambazo zinatoka operate plan au kutoa kwa kama kuna kitu ambacho wanakuja university wana request program inakuwa officiated, then jibu salama.
You said that if challenge and someone university is there any question? Any question regarding any organizations that are there?
My name is Michael Williams in the project. I'm Williams from JS and I would like to ask a question. So, you're currently plastic thing. Why not about intelligence or bio and others?
We are collecting all kinds all kinds of things. We have products. We have the projects with the university where we are making the organic. This the organic fertilizer rights out of products. So you can have an opportunity, but it's not like you have to do it. So we have partners who are collecting data who are collecting papers, who are collecting errands that the people that we don't use by our software business. According to our customer base, then because we are basically exporting business, so we don't wait on nature is more complicated because the regulations and everything. So I'm taking that I want to be my limits. So what we do is focus on the things that we are able to progress on. But we are able to get now partners, so if we are working with it, so we are able to mix and share ideas how we collaborate. So we invite collaborate and partner in parts. Just to YouTube channel as well as the social media pages and provide environment. So this is also a switch and then everyone and then go back to.
Thank you very much. We have had some institutions from the UN maps. When we have labs here at the building. One thing I would ask the moderator, speakers, that we have the point of the speakers here on stage. If you may, this is the moderator and the speakers that we have. I'm not sure if we still have someone online. Okay. So, maybe I can ask the presenters to stand right on stage and the moderator that can have the protocol presenters. Please. So I'm going to take it from the camera. Good. Do we have someone who wants to take the pictures? And then, okay. Okay. So, we have a moment. One ready for the conference. You start right now as well. You start with Asante sana. GWP, the global weather partnership Tanzania, for sponsoring the online access. So if you are following online, so we have this sponsorship for the GWP and I would like us to take a quick stand. I would like us to stand. Please let us stand. To stand. So Nataka kusema Tanzania kidijitali, utasema inawezekana huku tukichukua selfie ya video, ukirekodi sana na ilipokayo wewe au everything. So moja, mbili, tatu. Tanzania kidijitali. Thank you very much. Okay. Kita so tujaenda kwenye masuala ya kitabuni kwa angalau nusu kwa aliyo na ni social habari kwa masuala na video management kwa kama tulisema katika conversation hiyo ndio inaenda kwa ajili ya communication. So itakuwa swali kutoka nje tutapita kwa discussion hiyo communication nachukua namna ya kutangaza daudi so tutapita you are going to see so nashukuru sana tutaanza